Flyers fall 4-3 in a hard-fought game in overtime. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Glenn, and welcome back to the channel. This is the Orange and Black Attack as the Flyers fall in overtime to the Arizona Coyotes, 4-3. Can't win them all, but the good saving grace coming out of this game is that the Flyers do get a point, and all those points matter. If you collect points now, they matter towards the end of the season of you making it into the playoffs. Let's get into this game as the Arizona Coyotes strike first, as their captain Shane Doan is able to get the puck past Steve Mason for a 1-0 lead. Once again, it took a while for the Flyers to get their legs underneath them, but once they did, they played a lot better in this game. The Flyers are able to tie it up on a Michael Raffl tip-in to tie the game at 1-1. Not too much longer, the Chikrin, the young kid from the Coyotes, goes in, tries to get a shot off, misses wide, it bounces in front, lands in a pad, and then Hansel is able to stuff it past Mason as he finds the open puck underneath his pads to end the first period scoring as the Coyotes take a 2-1 lead. Going into the into the second period, the Flyers have a power play, but less than a minute in, Richardson for the Coyotes gets a breakaway and he's able to put it past Steve Mason, and the Coyotes lead 3-1. Flyers are able to get one back as all aboard the Wayne train. Wayne Simmons is able to get one past Mike Smith, and the Flyers get within one. It is 3-2 at the end of the second period. Can't blame Steve Mason for this, guys. Just because he let in 4 goals, if you count the overtime goal, it's not the time to say that Steve Mason sucks. If it wasn't for Steve Mason last year, the Flyers wouldn't be into the playoffs at all. So it's only one game. Settle down, everybody. It's a back-to-back situation, and that's why they didn't start in the rebirth. Going into the third period, the Flyers are able to tie it up as Travis Konecny is able to get another point as he's able to find Matt Reed on a breakaway, and Matt Reed ties the game at 3. And the game goes into overtime. The Flyers had their chances in overtime. They caught the first 1.5 of the periods. The last set of the second period I had to catch on the radio, and the third period I had to catch on the radio, being since I had to go to work last night. The Flyers had their chances in overtime, but Mike Smith just stoned them. They had their chances, and coming down the Coyotes come down, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson ends the game in overtime. But the Flyers do get a point. They are 1-0-1 so far on this young season. Here are your goal scorers: Shane Doan for the Coyotes, Michael Raffl for the Flyers, and Hansel, I believe it's Michael Hansel, for the Coyotes in the first period. Brad Richardson for the Coyotes, and Wayne Simmons for the Flyers in the second period. Matt Reed for the Flyers in the third period, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson with the game winner in overtime. Like I said, the Flyers do get a point. They played a lot better. They need to coming off a back-to-back. Good win the other night on Friday night against LA. Back-to-backs are always hard, but at least they get a point. Those points will matter towards the end of the season. 2 days off before the Flyers go to Chicago on Tuesday night. That is a 8 o'clock start on Eastern Standard Time. The game will be on NBC Sports Network nationwide. CSN Philly for those who live in the Philadelphia area. That is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 5 o'clock for those who live on the West Coast. 7 o'clock for those who live in Chicago. As the Philadelphia Flyers take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Always a fun game. The Flyers took both games last year against the Chicago Blackhawks, which was a shock. They shut them out the first time they played them, and they had a nice little nail biter towards the end of the season as the Flyers were pushing to the playoffs. But it should be a fun game. It's the final game of this 3-game road trip the Flyers are on before they come back home Thursday night against Anaheim for the home opener, and there will be a 50-year celebration. like, subscribe, and share this video if you guys are enjoying this. And as I always end my episodes, and as the late great Gene Hart used to say, good night and good hockey.